Rite Games has just dropped gameplay for Rift of Raigard. Let's analyse the hell out of it. G'day folks, Spackman here. Welcome back or to the channel if this is your first time here. Another Rift of Raigard video, and thank you so much for the last one. It was my most watched video to date, and I really appreciate the support that it got. Hoping we can continue that. Now, before we do get into the main video for today, we've got a variety of clips and images of sort of gameplay coming up. I'll try and go through them pretty fast. On screen right now, we show here the warrior with a neck piece we don't see in the clips, and maybe a more advanced version, and she also seems to have a bit of a different walking movement there. And we also have a number of images going forward. So those first few clips were from October, and this one here and the next couple are from November, and they're all of the same faction, and we can tell that because of the Archer Towers having the same design and appearance. We only have one, and this is also a faction called, I think, the Imperials or the Folklords, I believe they're meant to be known as. The only exception is this one here from December, and I believe this one here, based on what we know about the various factions, is from the Brutes or the Gremlocks, but remains to be seen, of course. Moving forward to January, Jake and the team discussing an attack here on a further upgraded base than what we've seen thus far. Everything looking a little bit fancier, and obviously more structures present. Lastly, back in March, something that really closely resembles the gameplay we're going to be seeing today. The first time we see this castle fort type core, replacing the previous globe type structures, and the graphics really similar. Very, very similar. Anyway, let's get into this gameplay. We're going to watch it normally once, and after that, we're going to slow it down, and we're going to break it down. All right, into it now. We've got 5 minutes on the clock to try and figure out what we're going to do. We also have here the troop selection screen. And when I first saw this, straight away I noticed the graphics, the back, the layout of the base itself, the structures, looking amazing. But the icons, you know, the troops, whatnot, the attack button, that purple button on the right, I just don't think they fit. They don't seem of the same ilk. Anyway, the attack's underway. The Titans dropped on the right-hand side, are blitzed through that wall, and are smashing into the base. We have Rangers and Warriors coming in at the left here, so the base is basically getting sandwiched between the two. And the base is largely done. Worth noting also that this attack, it doesn't feature all of the features. It is a core level 2 attack, as we were told, but it doesn't feature heroes. It also doesn't feature all of the defenses, and that's only what we're told it doesn't feature. I'm sure, you know, there could be other things that aren't at play right now. Maybe there's more troops, maybe troops can be upgraded more, maybe structures can be upgraded more at core level 2. We really don't know at this particular point in time. Anyway, that's largely done. Echo got smashed. Done right has it out for him. Conspiracy theory, right? Now, we're going to get into the actual meat of this video. Let's check out and break this down. Firstly, I'm going to be highlighting a few things in this that effectively haven't gone to plan. Bugs and issues and whatnot. Don't think much of them. I wanted to go through everything I could find, but this game's in alpha. Not even in beta yet, let alone global launch. If it gets launched and there's still issues, well, that's another story. Anyway, let's have a look at this in some greater detail. We have here the main screen, and you'll note first off the layout of the land, you know, rocks and grass everywhere, water on the outside, but the actual broken down land appears to be in a hexagonal shape. And I say that because there's a snowflake type of image, layout there of stones underneath the grass and the dirt, and they all kind of come together at the center there, right next to the Titan. So I think the whole thing there is also going to be in a hexagonal shape. And featuring dead center, we have obviously the core, featuring a castle, be it a skin or not, remains to be seen. Got 2 gold drills on the either side of that. Below each of those, an archer tower of sorts of each. Different levels, mind you. You can tell that from the design. 2 different types of machine gun turrets, a catapult bang in the middle. Bottom right should be a barracks. And at the very bottom there, a while to figure this out. I'm pretty certain it's a blacksmith or armory of sorts. Looks to be a hammer up just above the door there, and I imagine that chimney type thing is, smelting the blacksmith ironworks type stuff. And around the outside, obviously, we have a wooden wall. Before we do go to the troop selection screen, of course, let's have a look. Up top, we have the timer. We've got the name of the particular person that is being smashed. We have the surrender icon top left. I'm pretty certain that's what it is. Attack button, the particular troops that are selected for the battle. And on the right-hand side, this purple button, the strangest of the lot, in my opinion, I believe is for your troop selection. Now, in your troop selection, on the far left, of course, we have your preset armies. On the left, we then have your actual army where you can click on them to remove them. You have one hero to select, but obviously not in this particular replay. And on the right-hand side, of course, we have the barracks. And clicking on those adds them into the default army on the left. I assume you can't cap over the particular allowable amount, however. And there's an information symbol there for those who aren't that accustomed to the troops to learn more. And it tells you about their levels. Now, we've clicked attack. What do you see here? The time has gone straight down to 2 minutes, as they said it would. 2 minutes to drop everything and get everything done. There's no limit to the time your attack can take, but you do have a limit for the time you can drop your troops in. Obviously, we've already seen this attack. It doesn't even take 2 minutes to destroy everything. But also, when we clicked attack, the warrior over here seems to be highlighted immediately. I remember from Clash of Clans, that was a big issue for a long, long time. But I'm sure they're going to address that before it's launched because of the issues that game faced. And Done Right is all about addressing every issue every other game faced, so they don't have it, and hence, best game ever. All right, we'll get into it. We go on to the Titan. We try dropping it, but we don't drop it in the right spot. As a result of that, we get sunburnt. No, we have these red tiles everywhere. They seem to be one tile away from every building or structure. And what's interesting about that is, firstly, you'll notice because of the way this wall is over here, they encompass a total outside. I don't think you can drop any troops on the outside over there. Secondly, there's these tiny little gaps between the singular walls. I don't think you can drop troops there either. I think it's just the way it's designed. But anyway, moving on. When we do drop the Titans, you'll note little small arrows, or for any troop for that matter, small arrows indicating what it is they're going to be targeting. And that's very handy. Maybe you can do a test of the troop just to make sure, if you're not quite sure what they're going to go for, you can figure out in advance. And note the destruction animation that takes place when this wall goes down. Very intense for a wooden wall and a tiny little bit of attack. And on the left-hand side, we've got warriors and rangers coming in, again, being pummeled together. And moving again on the right-hand side, this archer tower here. Two things happen very fast, so I'll speak to them now. Firstly, when the archer tower is destroyed, for whatever reason, I don't know what's caused it, one of the Titans seems to get flung back. And it sort of skids back for a bit and it gets back in the action. Secondly, the first trap of the raiders spawned just above that machine gun turret over there. Little bomb type thing with the skull, bone and arrow sitting on top of it. And that goes off and damages most of those. And the catapult starts to get into play. It obviously couldn't range the troops as they were on the outside of the walls. Now, once again, we tried dropping troops in the wrong place. Naughty, naughty. But what this did is the base has changed. How has it changed? We've destroyed a few things. So note here, on the left-hand side, the left of the machine gun turret, there aren't red tiles where this archer tower was. Reason being, there's no, it's further than one tile away from any other structure. So as I mentioned, we should be able to drop troops in here. Creates an extra element to the base planning and your attack strategy. 100%. Furthermore, and this I'm sure isn't intentional, this machine gun turret is basically bugged for the rest of the raid. It seems to not work for about 3 seconds, and every time it does work after that, it tries to go for the warriors and then spazzes out and ends up attacking one of the other units if you keep an eye on it. We'll go through that, and let's see. Once again, looking at another trap here. There's 2 traps in the raid, at least that I could see. This one down here, it got set off by these little buggers all the way up here, and it even hits them too. So very, very big range. Quite surprised at that indeed. And moving on, you might notice we have the Archer Queen reincarnate playing this game from Clash of Clans, for those that remember it. This ranger over here, for whatever reason, is banging on that wall. Everything is on her side of that wall, but she's going for it anyway. Good on you, love. I appreciate the work you do. And after that, she decides to walk straight through the other wall, for that matter. Each their own, I guess. And coming up very shortly, this catapult here ends up attacking all of these troops on the left-hand side, and it manages to destroy them all in one hit. That's a big area of effect, right? And it finally eventually goes down to the Titans here, and obviously the catapult has a lot more health than any of the other defenses that we saw here today. And I'm very it's just not what I'm used to, I guess. So I want to see how that plays out. They did say the reason for those type of introductions is because they want this to not be a game that doesn't create a spam as a meta type attack. And I appreciate that. Anyway, this is largely wrapping up. The base is done. Was there anything I missed? Please let me know if there was. I tried to cover everything. Probably too much for your liking, but I had fun. And then what I'll do is I'll talk about some of my conclusions from this, and share yours if you can. So this is all done, and at the end we see the 100% icon, and obviously we also see the amount of gold that we earned from that raid. Bingo. All right, now what can we gain from this? Firstly, there's a few things. This screen, I don't mind it. I think it's fine, for the moment from what I've seen. But I would love if you could happen to have an option maybe to have a split screen system, particularly for those on an iPad when you have the space, so that you could view the base at the same time that you're viewing your troop selection. I think it would be very useful to many people if that was allowed. Furthermore, speaking of space on your device, I'd be very surprised if this particular demo was played on a device that was actually using a GameSpark preview tester thing. And but these images I feel are far too big for what some phones could handle, considering the space on the screen. And looking at the base layout itself, we have over here, I love the idea that you can build your base right to the outside. It's going to create a hell of an extra bit of depth to your attack planning, your base design and defense, and all that sort of strategy that's in touch with that. And look, I think that's largely it for today. What I will do is say, if you guys can please like and subscribe, turn on notifications. I am obsessed with Rift at the moment, and I cannot wait to get things going. What I am going to also do is, once you've liked, subscribed, whatnot, please also check out the Discord. I've set up a community Discord, Spackman's Riftcord community, we are calling it. And the idea is it's a one-stop shop for everything Rift of Raigard. Obviously, you're going to have your general chatter, your guild recruitment, whatnot. This is going to grow as time goes on with more features and whatnot. Hopefully a lot of commands, so you can find out things about the game without needing to go anywhere else. But also, it's going to update you on everything going on. So we're going to have here all Rift of Raigard related videos, all updates to the Reddit, which obviously is very small at the moment, and also every single update to the official Done Right Games and also Jake Done Right social media platforms. A great sort of area to come in and check out, get everything you need for Rift of Raigard in one place. That's all from me today. Appreciate your time here. We'll see you next time.